Hi, and welcome back. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about how things have been going on week 5 of my new medication, Zepbound. Right now, I'm currently moving up. So, I was previously on 2.5 milligrams, and now I'm moving up to 5 milligrams. And I'm just telling you about how that's going. I would say, now I am beginning to understand the symptom of it all. I wouldn't say it's bad, but I would say it's definitely more enhanced than where I previously was on the lower dose. And I kind of go over a little bit about kind of what I've been feeling. I'll start with hunger though. What I will say is moving up in this dose, my hunger was definitely managed a lot better. I guess I didn't realize how much effort I was putting into managing the noise and the hunger when I was on 2.5, kind of the same way I felt before I started the medication, how I was doing toward the end of the week where we talked about 1 through 4, got a lot of coverage, but then 5 to 7, not so much. And it wasn't terrible. It was better than what it was before, but I definitely had to manage and be mindful. And then toward the end of the last couple of weeks, the hunger would start to come back sooner. So I do think I made the right choice in moving up just kind of for more of coverage of that, the noise and the hunger and all that stuff. What I would say is that it's almost as if it is quiet most of the time, and that I feel full. The coverage in terms of being full is really good, and the hunger is not. It's almost again, not as loud as it was with the 2.5, but definitely not as loud as it was before I even started the medication. It's just there, and it's not really bothersome. It's just something I need to do to make sure I have enough energy to fuel me for the rest of the day. And that's still is something that really is interesting to me and intrigues me, even though at this point I'm 5 weeks into this medication and that I shouldn't be surprised, but I am. So that's definitely a positive. It's not like the way it was where I could pinpoint, this period of days I don't feel hunger, and then this period of days I do feel hunger and I have to manage it. It's different. It's almost as if I get a blanket coverage that is more, how do I describe it? It's just even. It's even throughout all the days. Nowhere near the manageability I had to deal with for 5 through 7 on the 2.5 though, but it's just even. It's spread out. And the only time that I noticed it kind of coming back was toward the end of that 7th day. And it was very tiny. It wasn't even something to be really concerned about. And the noise as well. I didn't really notice it until the very end of that 7th day. And then by the next day, I was, it's back to taking my next injection. So it wasn't a huge deal. I guess an example I can give you is that after dinner time, I was a little hungry, and in my brain I felt snacky, and I had a noise in my head that was oh, what would be good right now? Pretzels, that'd be good. Maybe some pretzels. And a snack is not a good or bad thing. It's just I could take that note and check in with myself and think well, did I eat enough protein today? Did I eat enough fiber today? Am I fueling myself? Do I just want just a little snack? Maybe I just need a little bit of something, a little bit of carbohydrate up in there. And if I did eat enough protein for the day and enough fiber for the day, then it's well, it shouldn't be a big deal to have a snack and just have a serving size of a snack, and that should be okay with me. And it was just a little whisper. And then at first I was just oh, well, we'll see how I feel in about an hour. And then it came back, and I was okay, this is a real thing, and I can address it, or I can choose a better option if I haven't met my goals for the day. It was just kind of again a discussion and not a negotiation that I have with my head and my hunger, and just kind of getting through that. So it's just an example of how it is on the next step up. I would definitely say that it is a change to go up in dosage for me. But enough about hunger. Let's talk about the side effects. I would say I definitely am feeling the side effect more. Still, I would say still not awful, but definitely just an increase from the latest dose I had, which was a smaller dose. And that's kind of what my doctor and I talked about. She said some of the side effects you had, you might feel them a little bit more when you go up in dose. It just makes sense. I would say, the fatigue, but I will say again, my sleep hasn't been great. I really am going to try to manage that better. And this is just a reminder to me that I'm going to have to start managing it better if this is going to be a side effect, because I can at least reduce the fatigue by just trying to get more rest. So that's something that I've noticed for sure. The nausea, it just kind of went in and out, kind of like it did the first week or so, week maybe 10 days on the it just came in and out. It was there and then it was gone. I feel like I do feel it most of the time when I've gone a long period of time without eating, and I just didn't like notice. And I do feel like kind of with this dose, the first day or two is difficult to eat, but it's not like something that I'm ignoring. I know that I still need to eat, but if I extend it out a little bit longer than I should have, then I notice it. My body notices it, and that nausea is related to me not consuming enough, or maybe I'm not drinking enough water, and I go to those things, and usually the nausea disappears. I also got these like upset stomach lozenges, or I don't know, you suck them. It's like lemon and honey and ginger. You probably could make it, but I just got them because I was like, I don't know. And that also helps. Mint also helps. I'll just suck on a mint and I'll be fine. What other side effects? Nausea and fatigue are the top ones. Something else I did notice, which I don't know if this has anything to do with the medication or if this is just me. My mouth was really dry the day after I take my shot. It was just dry, and it was just like drinking water, like. So I don't know if that's a medication or if that's just me. One other thing, I had a really vivid dream the day after I took my shot, which I don't know if that's the shot, if that's just me. I don't know. But those are some things that I noticed, which those last two things could be me, could be the shot. I don't know. But that's just how my side effects have been going so far. This week, because of the fatigue, I'm leaning more into like functional things for movement. So instead of like trying to push myself to do cycling or something else, then I'll like work in the garden, and then it'll be just because it's about that time too where it's starting to warm up and I can go out and I can do things, whether it being cold and dreary in wintertime. But I did a lot of gardening, a lot of digging, a lot of pulling, a lot of lifting of like heavy bags and things like that. So that's just kind of been my movement for the week. I still did strength training. I still did like 20 to 30 minutes. I did that twice a week. I did walk on my walking pad, but I didn't use my bike. I didn't do the cycling or the spinning, as some people call it, but which I like. I really actually like. But this week I was very tired, and so it's just more demanding than those other exercises, and so it didn't feel like a good idea to like push my body when I was already so tired. It makes sense for me to be a little bit gentler and only push myself to do the things that I needed to do, which was strength training, which is kind of a non-negotiable I have with my doctor while I'm on this medication. Very strongly advising to like not skip that. And I'm sure I got some strength training in when I was like pulling leaves and stuff and pulling weeds and picking up bags and moving planters and all that stuff. So I did that, and I did the dumbbells, so it was fun. But other than that, that's basically how it's been going. I'm gonna do another weight thing probably the 8-week mark. I don't know if I want to do it really every week. I know some people do it every week, but I just don't know that it's beneficial, especially if weight kind of fluctuates. I think, and I'll have to weigh myself at the 8-week mark anyway from a doctor. So that'll be the one that'll be marked and put into like my record or whatever. So I might as well just keep that going into it. But I do feel like I feel changes, but I don't really see them. But who knows, whatever, one way or another. But other than that, that's just a quick update. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.